Good morning, guys. So, final day of this initial longer fast for my cut, for my 2-year transformation, for the 2-year mark. Like I did my actual first workout, and yes, yeah, and something I always forget to talk about it, because to me it's become a habit. I don't even think about it. But you know, the snake juice, electrolyte, salt on a fast. You know, I use salt on the fast, but I've stopped mixing the snake juice for most of the time. Most of the time, I just pour it right on my tongue, you know, the salt, and chug it down with water afterwards. And yes, didn't expect to this little area in the woods. Usually, you get to yourself, but a woman and her kids staring, it brings so much attention, filming. But yes, the salt I use, the concentration, I don't remember now because I haven't mixed with different salts in a while, but I think 1 teaspoon of Himalayan pink salt and 1 teaspoon of potassium chloride powder for 2 liters is what I've used. But now I've found a salt, they call it an herb salt, not really, but mineral salt, I guess they call this one. That's true. Seltin för er svenskar, Seltin i matbutiken. So it's a salt that's 50% sodium chloride, 40% potassium chloride, and 10% magnesium. And you know, the magnesium, you don't really need magnesium on a fast. It doesn't hurt though, it won't ruin anything. But for my purpose, I wouldn't need it, but it's just there. But it's pretty much 50-50 sodium and potassium. But so I do use that, and I don't go for a certain amount. Just when I feel like, when I know, okay, I've been moving around now, I've been outside, I've been sweating a little bit, you know, I'll just pour some on my tongue and chug it down. It's kind of nice. I used to only, when I started doing this with the fasting and the salts, I used to start craving sodium. You know, when I get dehydrated, say after a sauna, it's not water I'm thinking about, it's the salty taste with the water, you know, and same with exercise. And I do that a lot now, even when not fasting, like before or after a workout. Just pour pink salt on the tongue and chug with water. But now I seem to have developed, because I always thought the potassium tasted kind of, yeah, I can't describe it in English, but not very nice, like a little, like eggy, a little, just not disgusting, but just not good. But now I've started enjoying this salt mix too. I guess you learn the body to recognize what it's longing for, what it needs. Yeah, but so I just wanted to say that. But man, we just have a few hours left now. It's kind of early in the day. I said good morning, it's 10 a.m. Very quiet, because people are still away from midsummer, or, you know, they are tired from midsummer. Yeah, but wow, what a great fast it's been. You know, I've learned a lot. I say that, especially on the longer ones, even on a 48 sometimes, but on the longer ones, you always take something with you. Every fast is unique in that way. And this time, I had a theory, because, you know, when you get into fasting, when you're used to eating every day, all day, snacking, it's hard. You are addicted to it. You will get withdrawals from it. But then, you know, so that it was the same for me in the beginning. But then, you know, I got over that a lot. But then some fasts started getting tougher, and I couldn't really understand why. It wasn't really so much that I was longing so much for food, but I think it's like this. I felt kind of the same on those fasts, like when I've just been training too hard, not rested enough. You know, just worn out, like exhausted, physically and mentally. Like, because sometimes when you're physically exhausted, if you're, you know, clear here, you can like force yourself to just do whatever you need to do or something, but just low energy, you know. And I think that sometimes when I've trained hard, you know, the fasting, when you don't, if you go into the fast and you still have like repairing to do in your body, it probably takes a toll on you, right? So something I've really learned now, it's, if you want to do the fasting and train the way I do, like 6 times per week, hard workouts, strength workouts, muscle down-breaking workouts in order to build it up again, you know, with food. Then I think I'm going to I did a deload, you know, into this fast trained without breaking down muscle, just stimulating a little bit. And wow, I think that was the thing, because like who would have thought in this day that okay, this guy, he has been bulking for months, he's been on a surplus for months, he's been teaching his body that we're trying to gain weight, and he's gaining weight eating a lot every day. Who would have thought that a guy like that, me, would be able to just stop eating for 3 days and it's no problem. Like no one believes that, because for most people it would be a big problem. They couldn't handle it. If they could go through it, they wouldn't have been able to do everything I've done here. You know, I've been making videos, I've been working, I've been hanging out with people. Something else I was going to say. Yeah, I've been walking like minimum 20,000 steps every day, and it's not even because I try to get it in or something, it's just from living, you know. So yes, very cool. That's the biggest lesson. Now, I was pretty sure that my theory about the training too hard right before a longer fast was what was causing me to get low energy and not feel too good on some fasts, and so that now I've proven it to myself. I've done the study, I did the deload into it, and I just feel awesome. It's like I did think beforehand that this was going to be kind of an easy fast, always easier for me too when I plan it ahead and I tell everyone, I get excited about it. So but that means that even if you get a little hard time, say a couple of hours of getting really hungry or something, you know, that's what keeps you motivated. But yeah, this is the thing, you know, yeah, I've planned this for so long, yeah, and I'll tell everyone that I was strong and went through it, whatever. But this time, I mean, this is the easiest fast ever, except my 100-hour fast, my Christmas fast. That's like, that one is, I kind of consider my favorite fast I've done. And but I think this is the second now. So easy, it's just been enjoyable, and I'm still, you know, if it wasn't for life, work, and the fact that I want to start training as soon as I can and get hard again, you know, I would go longer. Like if it was when I started doing all this, when I was studying and stuff, I had more time, more flexibility, I would have just pushed it until it started to feel a little tough. Now I'll just break it without even, you know, having to break it. Yeah, but yeah, I talked a bit. I mean, I think it sounded pretty clear at the end of the last video that I'm breaking it at the 72-hour mark, because I need to be, you know, I wasn't forced or anything. You know, I have a very nice job, very nice colleagues. I wasn't forced to work today, but you know, I'm really helping out if I do. So, you know, no problem, but it just works better with my plan that I've had if I then break because when I work, I would have broken the fast like right at the end of that work shift. Now I just do it before instead. But since I'm not training today, or at least not a full workout, but since I work in the gym, I might just take a little pump at the end of the work shift just for fun, you know. But I'm not doing a real heavy workout today, so I'm just gonna have my like break fast meal, a very big meal, but then work and then not have anything until tomorrow when I start training every other day, and fasting every other day and training and eating every other day. Yeah, I'll probably come back to you later. I mean, I know I am with the food. We'll see if I actually film when I'm eating the food, because I'm going to eat so much, it's going to take a long time, and you know, you can't talk with food in your mouth. But I'll show you for sure what I'm going to eat. And then we'll see if I'll add something after that, after I've finished work. Yeah, but yeah, and also, of course, I forget to say, but you can tell maybe that I'm on my way to the beach now. You know, it's not really a beach; it's a lake, but there is like a beach area, but you know, it depends on where by the lake you go to. But yeah, today I'm probably just have a few hours before I break the fast. Probably just gonna jump in, lie in the sun and dry off and meditate some. Maybe jump in once more if I feel like it, do the same. But then I'm going to start heading back and yeah, start preparing the breakfast meal. So yes, maybe as usual, throw in a little dive here. Okay, so not quite yet time to break the fast. You see the clock in the background. I started a timer. I don't use the fasting apps for most of the time, but when I do this like very official fast that I share with everyone, I do it. And the time I put it in, I think I started at 12:26. So, you know, because, like I said, I need, even though I'm, yeah, I said I don't like breaking the fast, you know, earlier than I planned, and I don't really, you know, 72 to 96 initial plan. Thought 80 was going to be it. Have to jump in for work. It works better with 72, but you know, I am a little bit autistic like that. It wouldn't really matter if it's 71 and a half hours or 72. But I think though, if you're someone that's getting used to this fasting and stuff, you should always like never, because I think it's good when you have a life to manage something. You know, you can be obsessed with the fasting at a point when you're actually not, you know, having having a hard time fasting. Then you shouldn't obsess too much about stuff like that. But in the beginning, that's with everything. I think you should be really, really strict. Like that's like with diet. Like me, I've had cake a couple of times, like in the recent month on this bulk for birthdays and stuff. But I never have it. I haven't had it for months before that. You know, I've gotten used to it. I can handle having it every now and then. I don't crave it. So, but when you're, you know, rewiring yourself from being a sugar addict and eating addict, then you should stay away from all that stuff for a long time before you reintroduce it. But so, yeah, so I'm not gonna start cooking yet. Yeah, back here in my parents' kitchen, because they are still away for midsummer at, you know, a summer house there where I would be if I hadn't spent this weekend working. But so we have well, maybe I'll just take down the camera. 3 deciliters of rice here, just shy of the last rice I had left. A kiwi, cranberry juice. We have the ground beef, the premium, very nice, ground with so good meat från Skärgårdsslakteriet. Kolla upp det. Levererar till Kajsa Berg i Stockholm. And a cucumber. So here, this is mostly for vitamin C, but look up the kiwi. This is a very nutritious little fruit, but this is my main source for vitamin C. You have the cranberry juice, some fructose, some additional fructose to stimulate the liver, some iodine, potassium. Yeah, you get the meat for, you know, this is macros also, just calories, but, you know, best animal protein, healthy fats, zinc, magnesium, heme iron, loads of B vitamins, like the list goes on with the red meat, all the good stuff. The cucumber, mostly for potassium, and obviously the rice is carbs, starchy, easy digestible carbs. And no, you might wonder, I'll turn the camera around again. Yeah, you might wonder, well, wait a minute, aren't you cutting? Aren't you isn't low carb the best strategy for that? And you know, I would recommend low carb for many people who are trying to lose weight. But for me, you got to realize that carbs are all about performance. This is how I view carbs. I don't need carbs for anything else than performance, you know. So, I mean, the fructose and liver, stimulating the liver, you know, a tiny bit of carbs people can have for other reasons than performance. But, you know, higher carbs, not, because I think a diet for someone that isn't very active, doesn't do a lot of performance exercise, maybe exercises, but you know, in a way just to stay healthy, not to, you know, be like an athlete or perform the best they can like that. I think people should eat lower carb for that purpose, but for me now, the cool thing is also the carbs are to keep performance high when I'm cutting. Yeah, basically that. You need I've eaten keto before I found out about fasting and stuff. And you know, I'm not against it. Like I say some people should eat low carb at least. Maybe not necessarily keto, but many people say they eat keto. They kind of don't eat keto. Keto is supposed to be high fat and not too much protein. But yeah, but the cool thing is, especially since, you know, you teach your body to go in and out of ketosis when you do the fasting. So like I said that earlier in other videos on this channel, when I've been surprised because I remember it took sometimes for my ketone strips to show ketones when I started fasting, but then like I could have lots of carbs daily and still every morning they show they chose color. And when I went on one longer fast, I remember eating lots of carbs, but trying to put on weight to make it through the fast because I was really lean then, but eating carbs and still just like 24 hours in showing ketones on the ketone strips. So that's kind of cool. My diet is still kind of ketogenic when I do the vertical diet with the fasting. You know, I can, for the first day here, when I start eating every other day, you know, let's see. When I'm gonna eat high carb on that day too, and let's see then I'll do like about 40 hours of fasting and then repeat. And I'll see then if they'll show ketones, the strips. I have a few left, and I'm already, I mean, I pretty much know that they will. And yeah. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna break the fast with. You know, it's really cool. It's so easy. I'm not trying to brag or anything. I just want you to understand that this is true. You can reach this state. Like, even being someone who moves around a lot, exercises a lot, trains to build muscle and stuff, you can reach a state where you can be without food for days, without really craving. You know, it's gonna be really good. It's gonna taste very good, and I'm looking forward to breaking the fast. But like I don't really have anything special to do now for this last hour before I break it, and I don't feel like like I need this food so much. It's just I'm looking forward to it. You know, yeah, so awesome, so awesome. And this brings me back to something, you know, being self-reliant, trusting yourself and stuff. I feel so awesome from this that, you know, like I tell you, people think you're weird for fasting or they don't get it. And it's very understandable because this is not a concept that's introduced to us at all when we grow up, most of us. So I get it, but I don't get affected by it. I can't feel like I'm a weird or behaving in a strange way. What will people think? Because I feel too good for it. It's too good. It works too great. I mean, come on. How can I can't listen, you know, to the ego voice, other people's voices in your head also. There's what that guy is so out there. He's so strange doing these things. You know, when you prove the truth yourself, when the truth is right here, can't deny this. How can I feel weird? How can I feel like a strange person for doing something that just makes me feel great? Yeah. Yeah, and just one thing that has been really cool about this fast is, you know, I mentioned this with a NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis going down, like movement, you slow down, basically your body in a fasted state or other depleted states, your body tries to make you save energy, you know, by making you like, you know, just restless leg is a good example, and walking slower. And you know, I felt it just a tiny bit at some point, but basically now you can hear me. I have high energy. It's not like my body tries to save energy at all. It's so cool. I guess my body it knows what it's capable of now. Like, you know, not only me, because that's the thing. When you've ruined yourself or been ruined, to not put all the responsibility on you. You know, it was had a lot to do with the environment you were brought up into. But, you know, then you can't really, your body doesn't know. You know, if you get to eat all the time, the hormones, the insulin, everything, you know, your body will think that, oh, I can't make it without food. Well, we need food, sugar. But now it's like my body knows that we're doing great. Nah, we can go for a little bit more. That's fine. Yeah, I'm not gonna claim this. We can't prove this. I can't know for sure. But maybe now my body, you know, it wants food. So now that when it knows that we have lots of fuel left to keep going on, maybe it just keeps giving me this energy because I should have high energy to, you know, catch or prey or something. And that's the awesome thing that makes fasting even cooler nowadays. You know, we don't fast because we're forced to by a tough life. You know, we fast, because it's the right thing, you know, a good thing to do, and we don't have to expose ourselves to actual starvation or anything. We can just do the fasting part. Because, right, say that I was a caveman, maybe I would in the same way, have high energy and be able to function well for days without food. But there comes a point if you don't get food, if you can't find anything, you would be depleted and starving actually. But that never has to happen. So be grateful for that. Be grateful for that and freaking fast, people. And just one small clarification. I'm having all of that I showed you, like the kiwi, the rice, 3 deciliter of rice, 1 kiwi, 800 grams of ground beef, 10% fat ground beef. But the whole cucumber, because it's almost no calories, it's, like I said, mostly potassium. But the cranberry juice, I don't have the whole liter, just like a glass, 20 centiliters or something. Ends up being probably shy of 2,500 calories. And since I'm cutting now and not a surplus isn't necessary, and I'll do it on the other days when I train, but I'm not really training today. So therefore I don't feel like I have to, I'm just gonna eat at one time. But if I feel like I have room for it, I'm still gonna have some, that thing I like, kefir, with my favorite protein powder and some berries and some rice puffs I just bought. Rice puffs are great, by the way, for just texture and stuff like that, because it's for me the carbs, but it's not many carbs. They are so fluffy that it's impossible to get many carbs from them in one of those bowls, but just for texture. And it's rice, it's easy digestible, so very good. I'm so happy about my diet, how I can keep this stuff like protein powder. It's a nice taste on it and it's good protein. There's probably some things in there that would be better not to have, but I always, my goal isn't always to do the most theoretically optimal thing in that way. To some point, you gotta live a little bit, that people say, but they go and get like hella drunk every week and live a little. They live, die, I would say, but all the time. But to some extent that's true, and I just enjoy that kefir protein thing so much, and some people, I guess normies, if we put it that way, would just look at me like, you're talking about your protein powder like being your bad habit, your unhealthy thing. Isn't protein powder for like people who exercise and work out? But I wanna. I try to do the best healthy choice, but if I can do something that seems, not only about health, this with the protein powders, both I like the whey protein. It's very hard to get in the milk. Like 80% is the slow digesting milk protein, and that's the good thing about the protein powder. But it is a little, pleasure, the taste. I like the taste. So if I can get something like that in my diet, that's kind of my view of things. Then I'll enjoy that. But if I say that I notice that I get a bad stomach from the protein powder, constipated. That can happen with some protein supplements. Then I'd stop, or at least have it less. So do that. That's how I find my diet. I look for the most healthy way, and after that, the best. That's the order. And then you're gonna end up with a great diet with some, not perfect things, but it still works great for you. Yeah. And now it's closer. I'm gonna go outside, be in the sun some more, go to the outside gym and just do some, strength exercises and push-ups and pull-ups, but nowhere near my maximum capacity. Once again, just speculating now. I don't know that this is true, but I want to get some blood flowing in the muscles, and maybe they'll be more ready to absorb the glycogen, or to fill, just making them ready to fill up on glycogen again. That's the uncommon sense. It must not be true, but it can't hurt, and why not try it? Yeah.
vattnar den. Alla blommor.
Vattna krukorna, Erik. Krukorna.
Yeah, so back from that, soon eating. That actually got metabolism going, a little appetite going, gonna be nice. Looking forward to it. But yeah, as you may notice there, and nothing I did was really to failure. It was regression of exercise, even though I'm pretty strong. You know, I now not for the shoulder, but dips and also pull-ups with like 20 or 40 kilos, depending on what I go for with reps. And now I made push-ups and pull-ups variations that were easier, feet in the ground and stuff. But that you gotta realize these workouts are not, or workouts really, there's so many different ways you can work out in. And of course, if you're trying to build strength and muscle, the main workouts are the overloading workouts, heavy low rep and high rep but to failure stuff. And all of this, nothing is to failure. It's all about being able to go through the movement, use the muscle with you're just stimulating it a lot. And then I just did one of most things. I didn't film quite everything I did there, but most things I could do just one set because I could do high rep, use the muscle for like a minute or two, and gets a lot of blood flowing. Yeah, but yeah, I've decided I'm not gonna film anything when I eat. Currently also running out of space, but I have my computer so I can transfer it. But yeah, I'm just gonna enjoy my meal in peace. I'm sorry. I mean, not sorry, but I've been. Because rice takes a while to boil. Just forgot the word boil. I put it here because I went out kind of quickly, but I put it on the wrong heat, so some of it got burnt. Fasted state. I'm just so into my project now. I'm into this video actually. I'm happy with it. It's fun to share all this stuff and telling you what I think about it. But yeah, now I'm going to eat. So what I do a lot is, I just fry the beets, the patties, so they have, a little, I don't know what you say, a little surface, here, but they're going to be very red inside. And I don't use sauce very often. Sometimes I treat myself, I might too. I have a little bit of hamburger dressing I found here, could use. Maybe I do that for the last part. But a lot of the time I just use the fat from the beef. I don't use any fat to fry it, and like any butter, because it's enough fat in the meat to fry in itself, But then I pour the excess fat on the rice. And it's both for taste, of course, right? Using the meat as its own sauce, but also, when I was on the bulk especially, and I needed to get all the calories in, when you count calories, especially take something like bacon. If you just pour away the fat, there's a lot of fat, you're losing a lot of calories there. It might not be a problem, it might be something you want to do if you're cutting sometimes, but when you're bulking, yeah. But so yeah, I guess because this is very strange to me to share how I cook my food. It's a mess here. I can't do this pretty thing. That's not me. But I guess people want to see it, so I just show some of what I do. And you know what? I'll eat my food, but I'll have the camera just standing on its little tripod there, so I can, if I feel like just take a break and say something I think of real quick, I can do that. All right. Yeah, good thing I could say quite a lot, but now I probably just have like 2.2 or something deciliters, and yeah, here's the rest. Like, yeah, it's a good thing I wasn't out for that long. But yeah, now I'm gonna eat. So I broke the fast already, like finishing the beefs. And that it was good with the cranberry juice and the cucumber. But I don't even think about maybe filming the moment I break the fast, because it's not a big deal anymore. It's good. I've been looking forward to it, but so yeah. But now for the real, like the macros, the good stuff, the big stuff. Very good meat, this. Yeah, I ended up just filming it instead of talking about it. Because I realized that's the last thing I can do, start editing the video before I start working. I have some time even after I finish the eating, so why not, you know. But you see, not much about glamorous, exaggerated influencer. Like, because you know the Instagram foods, like a lot to say, it looks pretty, but it's not like, just because it looks pretty, it doesn't mean that it's the best food or anything. And I just love this, by the way. Also, this rice, I like it, you know, and just this quality of meat, so good. It's on a whole other level. Eating, I don't try to look, I don't know, good or anything. I'll just eat. This would look ridiculous if I was sitting with knife. Yeah, that's the thing. When you don't try the meat too much, a spoon works good for eating this. Take a bite there, one there. Also, it would take me like an hour to try to eat this. Like, you know, if I was to eat it, if like I would do at a restaurant in a nice company, you know. Yeah, I don't even think any of that dressing is necessary. It's so good on its own. Yeah, but you know, I've decided after this, you know, I've broken the fast, so I'll end this video here today. I'm still, you know, the cut isn't over. So yeah, I still make videos the other days, but this fast part is over, the longer fast. No, the cut has just started. I don't have a clear goal how much I want to lose and for how long and how fast I will I will, you know, I know about what to do next, you know, but not and about when, but not exactly. I just adjust according to how it goes. But you know, I kind of decided I think I can be happy at not like I may try to get down really low to make a big difference, you know, for a cool transformation picture. And then I'll probably not start like mega bulking again, but probably put on a little bit of fat right away because I just want to eat more, fewer workouts. Look at it. Isn't it funny, right? People telling, you know, some people I've talked to think this is unhealthy fasting, starving yourself and then binge eating. Doesn't it seem, honestly, like I have a very good relationship to food right now? Had no problems eating for a while, and now not much additives, just clean food, and I'm really enjoying it. Like, it tastes so good, you know. But you don't, not like this massive dopamine rush. I just enjoy it. I feel like I've come back to the camp to eat my prey. Only getting the food wasn't the hard part. The hard part was staying away from it. And I'm going to talk a little about how I'm going to continue after the cut, apart from the body weight and so just fasting. How often, you know, this got me into, it really reminded me how much I like fasting, but still probably never ever do it as often as I did back in the fall. Yeah, I mean, except for a cut like this, I will be doing it a little more, you know, with eating every other day and stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna go longer periods of eating every day in my intermittent fasting window, you know, or at least low meal frequency and proper meals, not snacking. But because yeah, too often with a long fast, and it becomes tough to make progress in the gym at some point. So, but I think like this, that's what I did now on this bulk. I experimented with not fasting for a while, and it's worked so good. So, you know, now I know I can do both, but there's, you know, a right a right way to schedule it, so to say. Structure. I saw a hair on the plate, and I thought that yeah, it's cool. It's just my own. Then I realized I don't have any hairs that are longer than this. So when in my family, you know, I can't. It's not like I like having hairs in my food, but I can't be too bothered by it, you know. Oh, and one last thing, obviously the weight loss, because you know people ask me about that when I've done some fasts, but that was when I was learning more about the fast, and I fasted for the sake of fasting, and you know, autophagy and all that. So, but now it makes sense, of course, since I'm cutting. The scale showed 79 this morning, and it was 81.5 when I started. You know, it's hard to tell because the scale isn't exact either. You know, it doesn't if it's you know, when it's in between two, it's never 0.1, it's a bigger number, you know, so it won't show exact. You never know the water weight, what's the difference and stuff. But from my experience from having fasting and watching my weight, you know, every day and seeing what happens, I'd say I've a few hectos above a kilo of fat, I would guess I burn here. You know, 72-hour fast, big meal, but not like a surplus meal on the last meal before it. And moving around a lot on the fast. Okay, yeah, we'll see if I just let the food sink in a bit. Maybe now, you know, I'm even more prone to add a kefir with protein powder and berries now, because you know some of the rice was wasted. A lot of food here, so if I just, you know, I'll see in 15 minutes. But the video is done now. The fast is over. It was a great one. I learned a lot, and I think, you know, it can be depending on what video and what I'm saying now, because now I'm getting like a little food coma, almost like oh. But what I'm saying is, I really appreciate you guys watching. You know, I can tell it's just that it's small scale, but I can tell I have some people that are really into this and appreciate me, and I totally appreciate you appreciating me. Yeah, so yeah, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Please help me out by liking the video. Please comment, ask me something, or just say good job if you think I did a good job. Yeah, please share the video if you want to, or if you have somewhere where it makes sense to share it, you know. And thank you for this time. Peace.